The anime begins by showing a young man named Akira Oono. At that time, he was playing a game called Infinity Game. He is the one who made the game as well, playing the game for 15 years. In the game, Akira plays a Demon King character named Kunai Hakuto. Unfortunately, that night was his last night playing Infinity Game because, at 12 midnight, Infinity Game would shut down their server for good. At midnight, the servers were shut down, and something strange happened to Akira. Suddenly, a light appears from his computer screen and sucks him into another world. When Akira woke up in that other world, he felt that his body had changed. He decided to look at himself in the reflection of the water in the river. He looked very surprised because his face and body had turned into Kunai Hakuto, the character he played in Infinity Game. Seeing Akira has turned into a kunai, from now on, just call Akira as Kunai. Miraculously, Kunai can open the system administrator in that world, just like in the Infinity Game. His skills and powers in the Infinity Game were also in that world. Because of that, he became even more confused by everything that had happened to him. Not long after, a girl came from behind the forest. She told Kunai to run. Afterward came a demon that attacked him. Kunai, who felt threatened, used his skills and defeated the demon. Instead of feeling happy, the girl became afraid of him because of his power, which looks like a demon king. Then, Kunai tried to calm her so as not to be afraid of him, and she introduced herself as Aku. Aku explained that she had been used as a sacrifice for the devil's food by the villagers, and because of that, she ran into the forest to hide from the devil's pursuit. She explained that Kunai was in the Holy Light Kingdom, where all the inhabitants worshipped angels. After hearing her explanation, Kunai told her to take a shower. Then, Aku obeyed his orders and looked cheerful when she was taking a shower. At the same time, Kunai reopened the system administrator to examine it. While checking it, it turns out he can make items from memory. With his power, he made towels and soap to give to Aku. However, to make items, he needs new points that will increase if he fights. Therefore, Kunai asked Aku where the devil's lair was because his goal was to fight with the devil so that he could increase his points. Aku replied that the devil was sealed in the Hope Temple. Shortly after, Kunai asked her to take him to the Hope Temple because he did not know how to get there. However, because Aku's right leg was injured, Kunai carried her and headed to the Hope Temple. When he entered the temple, Kunai instead met a group of human corpses and an angelic figure named Idol. Idol said she had summoned Kunai into that world. She did that to fulfill requests from the human corpses that Kunai had seen before. The human corpses were from a demon worship group that asked Idol to summon the Demon King. But before their wish was fulfilled, the demon worshippers died from the monster's attack. Hearing this, Kunai asks her to send him back to his original world, but unfortunately, his request is rejected because he is a form of hope that other people make. Afterward, Idol replaced Kunai's request with a ring, but instead of being happy, Kunai looked very annoyed with the gift of the ring. Idol said that the request of the devil worshippers was the last request she could make because she had fulfilled many human requests. After saying that, she slowly disappeared into the sand, so Kunai left the temple and decided to explore his new world. On the other hand, Aku asked to come with Kunai because she had no place to go home. Hearing this, he allowed it because she would be very useful in his journey in that world. But before leaving, Aku asked him to accompany her to pick up some of her belongings that were still left in the village. Hearing that, he agreed, and they both left for her village. When they arrived at the village, Aku, who was about to go to her house, was blocked and stoned by the villagers. The villagers told her to leave because she brought bad luck to them. Seeing this, Kunai did not stay silent and protected Aku. She accidentally called Kunai the Demon King, which made the residents afraid. Kunai then burned one of the residents' houses to avenge the villagers who had been mean to Aku. After that, Kunai took her away from the village. He apologized to Aku because she couldn't take her things because of his actions. Then, they continued their journey toward the holy capital. The scene then moves, showing a group of troops escorting a horse carriage. Inside the horse carriage there was a holy girl from the church named Luna. Luna and her troops are apparently looking for the Demon King because previously, she had received information that the Demon King had risen. Because of that, Luna intends to find the Demon King and defeat him to get praise from her older sister. Meanwhile, a group of bandits suddenly interrupted Kunai while he was heading toward the capital. The bandits then attacked Kunai, but their attacks had no effect on him because he could only be attacked by people with the same power level as him. Not long after, Luna and her troops arrived and saw the bandits gathering. She attacked them using light magic. She used her magic carelessly, so it almost hit Aku. Luckily, Kunai managed to protect Aku. Unfortunately, her attack injured him, which means that her power level is equivalent to his. After that, Kunai told Luna to apologize, but she refused because she felt she had done the right thing. Her attitude clearly annoyed Kunai. As punishment, he beat her ass repeatedly and took her money. Not long after, Kunai and Aku rested in a nearby town called Yahoo City. Afterward, he orders the most expensive inn using Luna's money. He buys Aku very expensive clothes and invites her to eat at a restaurant. She was very happy because she had never felt that in her life and was always shunned by the villagers. Shortly after, Luna came and scolded Kunai for spending her money. At that time, she realized that Kunai was the demon king she was looking for. However, because she was afraid that her butt would be hit again, Luna was forced to obey Kunai and gave up her intention to kill him. Afterward, Kunai invites Luna to eat together, and Aku tells Luna that Kunai is not an evil demon king. In the evening, Luna, who had no money to rent an inn, came to see Kunai, and he returned the money and told her to sleep in her room. The scene then moves, showing another holy girl named Killer Queen. She is Luna's second sister and gets orders to find Luna. The next day, Kunai racked up money, then made a bowl with his skills and sold the bowl to a craft shop. The merchant, who saw it, was very amazed by the beauty of the bowl. After making an offer, the merchant took the bowl at the price of 1 gold coin. After that, he returned to the inn. The scene then shifts, revealing a demon cult. The demon cult elder ordered his followers to kill the holy maidens who are Luna and the Killer Queen in Yahoo City. In Yahoo City, while returning to the inn, Kunai saw the Killer Queen shouting at Luna from outside the inn. Not long after, Luna came and explained that she left the capital to defeat the Demon King, but that reason was opposed by the Killer Queen because she did not believe in the existence of the Demon King. When they were arguing, demon worshippers suddenly attacked Killer Queen with magic shots. Fortunately, she could slash the magic attack easily, and it scared the demon worshippers. Then, Luna countered the attacks of the demon worshippers with light magic, and her magic managed to injure several witches. Feeling pressed, the elder of the devil worshippers took out his best weapon, a chest. When opened, the chest secretes a black slime named Naraku, whose power can suck the energy of Luna and Killer Queen, thus making them exhausted. On the other hand, Kunai wanted to help Luna, but suddenly his ring came alive. The ring emitted dark energy and made his body unable to move. Kunai, who was pressed and had no other way, finally changed his character so that light emerged from his body and turned his body into a character named Zero. Without further ado, Zero finished off the devil-worshipping sex with a dragon attack wave skill. Killer Queen, who saw his power, fascinated him, and fell in love with him. After the fight ended, Luna decided to go with Kunai and Aku while Killer Queen returned to the capital. The scene changes, showing the Adventurers Guild in the capital. 2 adventurous girls, Yukikaze and Mikan, are looking for a mission. There they both take on the mission of killing Sandwolf in the desert. When she wanted to go on a mission, Yukikaze saw a poster of the search for the Demon King with Kunai's face, but she did not notice it and focused more on her mission. Long story short, Yukikaze and Mikan had arrived at the desert. At that place, there were more Sandwolf than they both expected. They apparently couldn't fight it, so they decided to run away. At the same time, Kunai, on his way in the desert, decided to stop and rest. But not long after, suddenly someone shouted, and it turned out Yukikaze and Mikan were chased by Sandwolf. Seeing that, Kunai did not stay silent and killed the Sandwolf with his skills. After that, he warned Mikan and Yukikaze to always be careful. At that time, Mikan looked very surprised because his face was similar to the previous Demon King poster, while Yukikaze was fascinated by his abilities. Hearing Yukikaze's words, Mikan felt strange because Yukikaze was actually a boy, not a girl, even though his appearance looked like a girl's. While on the way, Kunai again stopped his horse carriage, this time because he wanted to call one of his men because previously he had defeated many Sandwolf to increase his points. Soon after, Kunai summoned his subordinate, Kirino Yu, a genius doctor. His purpose called Yu because he wanted to build a base in that world. Then on his first mission, he ordered Yu to heal Aku's injured leg, and Yu managed to heal her leg. Afterward, they could continue their journey thanks to the power of Yu's hand. While on his way to the capital, Kunai crossed a poor village and the land was very dry. The village was named Rubby Village, and the owner was Luna. The church gave it to her, but the village became neglected because she could not lead. Then, Kunai asked Luna for permission to build his headquarters in Rubby Village. Luna allowed it but on the condition that he had to share his profit with her, and he agreed and promised to improve the economy in Rubby Village. The first thing Kunai wants to do is to build a hospital and hot spring business, but before starting his business, he plans to tackle the drought in Rubby Village. To overcome this, Kunai went to the main well in Rubby Village, but when he checked the well, it was very dry and had run out of water. Afterward, he overcame the drought by creating a magic pulley with his skill points. After the magic pulley was obtained, he installed the pulley while explaining that the magic pulley would continue to produce water even though the well was dry. On the other hand, Luna laughed at Kunai for installing a pulley in the dry well because she thought what he was doing was futile. However, her view changed after seeing Aku taking water from the dry well. Then, the villagers of Rubby Village were very surprised by the incident. Shortly after, Kunai ordered them to keep the magic pulley a secret so that people would not fight over it. The scene moves to the holy capital. There is a holy girl named Angel White, the eldest sister of Luna. At that time, Angel White met with the nobles to discuss the appearance of the Demon Lord. She worries about Luna because Luna is very close to Kunai, a Demon Lord. Then one of the nobles proposed killing him to avoid interfering with Luna's life. However, it was rejected by Angel White because she wanted to monitor Kunai and Luna's movement first. The scene moved to the headquarters of the devil worshippers. Utopia, the leader of the devil worshippers, ordered his followers to riot and destroy the holy capital. At night, Kunai seemed to be celebrating the healing of Aku's leg by taking her to dinner together at a fancy restaurant. While enjoying dinner, a woman named Abi Furai came. She was the wife of a very rich noble. Then, he greeted her and invited her to have dinner together. Kunai thought Abi Furai's arrival was a good opportunity for him because she had many noble acquaintances and would make it easier for him to build Ruby Village. It turned out that he wanted to gain the trust of Abi Furai by inviting her to Ruby Village to show the hot springs and hospital he was building. Kunai then explained that the hot springs he built had the best service quality, thus making Abi Furai very interested in the Ruby Village, so she accepted his invitation. When Kunai was talking with Abi Furai, a commotion came from outside, which turned out to be caused by the demon worshippers attacking the city. Seeing that, Kunai did not stay silent and looked for the demon worshippers. When he found the demon worshippers, Kunai saw Yukikaze and Mikan, who had a hard time dealing with them. Without further ado, Kunai helped Yukikaze and Mikan finish off the demon worshippers until they were desperate. The demon worshippers then sacrificed themselves to summon a middle-class demon named Carnival. Carnival arrogantly said he was a powerful demon and no human could defeat him. Hearing that, Kunai gave off his demon king aura and made Carnival lose his pride. He looks afraid and feels low in front of Kunai, even asking for forgiveness from Kunai so he doesn't kill him. But Kunai did not heed his request and killed Carnival. The residents, who saw his fight, began to change their views on Kunai because he had been instrumental in protecting the capital, and the citizens began to trust him as a good-natured demon king. But the problem didn't end there because the devil worshippers had summoned a high-level demon named Oluit. Knowing this, Angel White made a barrier magic so that Oluit could not enter the city. At the same time, Killer Queen comes to defeat Oluit and is assisted by an S-rank adventurer named Mink. Even though the two girls worked together, their strength still couldn't match the top-tier demon. Meanwhile, at the headquarters of the Cult of Demons, Utopia seems to give a task to a girl named Tron to release Naraku in the Holy Light City. Long story short, Tron finally arrived and released Naraku, which flowed into the city, making Killer Queen and Mink exhausted to catch him. Seeing Killer Queen and Mink cornered, Kunai intends to help them, but because he wants to hide his identity in front of Angel White, Kunai changes his character to Zero. Soon after, the battle between Oluit versus Zero ensues. Oluit tries to attack him, but he retaliates by kicking Oluit without difficulty and continues to beat Oluit. Even Zero considers the attack Oluit gives just like a playful attack. Hearing this, he was furious and clearly didn't want to lose to Zero. He then attacked Tron and sucked her blood to increase his strength. Tron, who was dying, was assisted by Zero by giving her a healing item, so the stab wound on her body could heal quickly. On the other hand, thanks to Tron's blood, Oluit managed to get his strength back. He used all his strength to turn himself into a monster figure. However, Oluit's transformation is not a big problem for Zero because, with his inner energy blow, Oluit's body is instantly destroyed. Then, Killer Queen, who had been saved for the second time by Zero, became even more fond of him. After the city calms down, Zero returns to Kunai's character mode and meets Angel White to convince her that he is not an evil demon king. He asks her for permission to lend him the city library so he can find information about his new world. Then, Angel White allowed him to enter the city library, thus making him feel very happy. The scene shows Kunai and Aku visiting the city library. He reads a book that explains the dungeon in his new world. The dungeon contains items and rare magic weapons. Knowing this, Kunai intends to explore the dungeon because he wants to find armor that can withstand magic attacks because he does not have the resistance to magic attacks that do not exist in Infinity Game. Before deciding to go to the dungeon, Kunai decided to investigate more information about the dungeon first. After reading some books in the library, Kunai and Aku return to the inn. While on the way, Kunai meets Tron. Suddenly, Tron realizes that Kunai and Zero are the same people because she can read the color of everyone's soul. Afterward, she wants to follow Kunai to repay Zero's kindness for saving her life. Hearing this, Kunai allowed Tron to come with him, but on the condition that she had to obey all of his orders. Afterward, he invited her to the inn, then he introduced her to Aku, Luna, and Yu. At first, Luna objected to being friends with Tron because there was a demon in her body, but Kunai advised Luna to be friends with her. Thanks to his advice, Luna accepted Tron's arrival. After that, Kunai and the others teleported to Ruby Village. After arriving, Kunai and Yu started their plan to build a hospital. Soon after, Kunai built a hospital with his creative skills, and after it was completed, he checked the conditions inside the hospital. He ordered Yu to give high medical fees to nobles and low fees to ordinary people. After finishing building the hospital, Kunai created a hot spring and hired 2 bunny girls and Ruby Villager as receptionists and caretakers at the hot springs. After his 2 businesses were completed, Kunai needed someone to manage his business. Shortly after, he called his subordinate, Tahara. He explained to Tahara that his job was managing Ruby Village and training villagers to become good workers. After that, he introduces Tahara to Aku and the others. The next day, Kunai returned to Yahoo City to order uniforms for his workers. He ordered vegetables and meat for his needs in Ruby Village. Afterward, he returned to meet with Abi Furai, who visited Ruby Village. Abi Furai came with her grandfather, Sambo, who used to be a soldier, but one day he had an accident while on duty which caused him to suffer eye damage, making him unable to see. Knowing this, Kunai offered Sambo to treat his eyes at the hospital and said he had very skilled doctors. Hearing this, Sambo was very excited. Soon after, Tahara and Kunai took Sambo to Yu's room. At that place, Yu checked Sambo's eyes, and with just one look, he instantly found the right medicine for Sambo. Then, he dripped the drug into Sambo's eyes. A few moments later, the drug's effect managed to heal Sambo's eyes, so he seemed very happy because he could return to being a soldier. Seeing Yu heal her grandfather's eyes, Abi Furai paid him with Holy Lambda coins, the highest nominal in the Holy Light Kingdom. After that, Kunai invites Abi Furai to enjoy the hot springs. She was amazed by his hot spring facilities, including the services provided there. After seeing all these things, she decided to work together with him. The scene then moves to the capital. Scene Angel White with Killer Queen. Angel White seemed increasingly suspicious of Kunai because he could easily invite Abi Furai to work together. Whereas for Angel White, Abi Furai is very difficult to work with. Shortly after, Angel White felt confused by Luna, who suddenly became close to Kunai. She assumed that Kunai had brainwashed Abi Furai and Luna with dark magic. As a good sister, Angel White planned to save Luna, who was in Ruby Village. Not long after, Angel White arrived at Ruby Village and met with Luna. She told Luna to return to the capital and said that Kunai had deceived her, but Luna refused her invitation and said she was busy improving the economy in the village. Shortly after, Tron came and asked Luna to work again. Afterward, Luna ordered 2 bunny girls to take Angel White to a hot spring. When entering the hot spring, she accidentally entered the men's bathroom. In Angel White's bathroom, she was very confused to see all the facilities there, making her unable to guess Kunai's real plan. When she wanted to take a bath, Angel White instead met Kunai, who was bathing. Kunai, who saw Angel White naked, tried to remain calm. He threw a towel to Angel White so that she covered her body, then invited her to bathe with him. After feeling calm, Angel White finally asked about his purpose in Ruby Village. Hearing that, Kunai explained that the purpose of development was only to improve the economy in that village. Suddenly, Kunai blamed Angel White and said that the nobles in the capital never cared about their people and only thought about themselves, making many villages neglected. He also explained that Luna and Abi Furai were close to him of their own will, not because he used dark magic. Hearing this, Angel White felt guilty for accusing Kunai of plotting evil in Ruby Village. To fix his relationship with Angel White, Kunai escorted her back to the holy capital using his teleportation skill. Kunai's power surprised Angel White because only angels could possess it. Soon after, she asked Kunai about his true self. Kunai replied that he was a person summoned by an angel, thus surprising Angel White. The next day, Kunai went to the capital to find out about the dungeon. While on a walk, he accidentally met Yukikaze and Mikan. Then he asked them both for information about the dungeon. Shortly after, Yukikaze invites Kunai to go to the shop so that he can chat comfortably. At the shop, she treats him to a drink. After that, Mikan explained that there were various kinds of rare weapons and armor in the dungeon. The items are grouped into 5 levels ranging from normal, solid, high-end, unique, and legendary. Afterward, Yukikaze informs that a dungeon has appeared in the north, which makes Kunai want to go. Then, she offers to take him there. After hearing her favorable offer, Kunai allows Yukikaze and Mikan to accompany him on his journey to the north. At night before leaving, Kunai said goodbye to Aku and the others. The next day, Yukikaze and Mikan came to Ruby Village to pick up Kunai, and before leaving, he entrusted Ruby Village to Tahara and Yu. Then, he departed for the north. The anime closes by showing Kunai, Yukikaze, and Mikan have arrived at Rookie City, a city in the north. Not long after, he suddenly met a naughty man riding a horse. The man called himself a hero named Oda Mega. The moral that can be learned from this anime is, we could learn from Kunai, who is willing to help people in need. His attitude is like an angel. He is inspiring. He reminds us to never accuse someone just from their outward appearance and never hesitate to help others.